Title, she said. Humans don't get shy, right? Then my alien maid began to change. The first time Lyra stepped into my apartment, she bowed so deeply that her silver hair brushed the floor. I am assigned as your domestic assistant, she said in that soft melodic accent of hers. Please instruct me, Master Eli. Just Eli is fine, I replied awkwardly, scratching the back of my neck. She wasn't human, not even close. Her skin shimmered faintly, like liquid metal under moonlight, and her golden eyes blinked with vertical pupils. When the Galactic Exchange Program approved Earth's first interspecies employment trial, I never thought I'd be one of the test hosts. But my research grant depended on it, so here I was, living with a maid from a planet I couldn't even pronounce. First, things were professional. Lyra cleaned everything with mathematical precision, cooked food I didn't know my old microwave could produce, and always spoke with formal politeness. She moved with the grace of a dancer, silent except for the soft hum her kind naturally emitted. But as the weeks passed, I noticed little changes. She started asking questions, curious ones. Why do humans smile when they are sad? Why do you cover your body with cloth even when the temperature is stable? Why does your heart speed up when I stand close? That last one nearly made me choke on my coffee. One evening I came home late from the university lab. The lights in my apartment were dimmed, and the scent of something sweet lingered in the air. Lyra was standing by the kitchen counter, wearing one of my shirts instead of her usual uniform. It hung loosely on her, reaching just past her knees. Your cleansing unit malfunctioned, she said, gesturing toward the washing machine. I needed to launder my clothing, so I borrowed yours. Do you mind? No, I stammered. Not at all. Her golden eyes flickered curiously. You appear flushed. Are you overheating? Cough. Just tired. She tilted her head, the faintest smile playing on her lips. Humans don't get shy, right? The teasing tone caught me off guard. Lyra never joked before. I managed a nervous laugh, grabbed a glass of water, and tried to ignore how she was still watching me, her eyes warm and strangely soft. Over the next few days, her behavior shifted even more. She began humming Earth tunes she learned from the radio, left little notes on my desk like "Don't skip breakfast again, Eli," and sometimes sat near me when I worked late, quietly observing the night sky from the balcony. Back on Xylaris, she said one night, her voice calm but wistful. We have no stars, only clouds of plasma. When I first arrived here, I thought the sky was filled with holes. That's kind of poetic, I said, glancing at her. She smiled faintly. You teach me that word. Poetic. It feels nice to say. There was something delicate about that moment. The soft wind, the hum of city lights, and her silver hair glimmering against the dark. I didn't realize how much I was staring until she looked back and met my gaze. Her pupils widened, a biological reaction her species used to express curiosity or attraction. I looked away first. A few nights later, I found her in the living room, studying her reflection in the mirror. She traced her fingers along her jawline, her expression uncertain. Eli, she said quietly. Am I unpleasant to look at? What? Well, you're beautiful. The words slipped out before I could stop them. She turned, eyes bright. Then why do humans look away when they see beauty? My brain scrambled for an answer. Because sometimes beauty scares us. Scares. She stepped closer, her voice barely above a whisper. Do I scare you? Her proximity made my pulse race. Maybe a little. She blinked, then laughed softly, a sound like wind chimes. Strange. You make me feel the same. That night I couldn't sleep. Her words replayed in my head. Something was happening. Something that shouldn't have been possible. According to the program's guidelines, Xylarians weren't capable of human-like emotions. Their biology was designed for logic, not affection. But Lyra, she was changing. And maybe so was I. The next morning, I woke up to find breakfast already made. Pancakes, my favorite, and a small note beside the plate. I am learning human cuisine. Did I succeed? Smiled. But when I turned, I froze. Lyra was standing by the counter again. But this time, her silver skin had softened into a faint peach tone. Her eyes glowing less gold and more amber. Even her hair had a subtle hint of warmth. Lyra, I whispered. You look different. She looked at her hands, then back at me. My structure is adapting. Exposure to human hormones, emotional frequencies. Perhaps even empathy. I feel sensations I was never meant to. Is that dangerous? Perhaps, she said softly. But it feels alive. Her voice trembled slightly, and I realized she was scared. Without thinking, I reached out and held her hand. It was warm, truly warm for the first time. She looked down at our hands, then met my eyes again. Your pulse, it calms mine. We stood there in silence, two beings from different worlds, hearts sinking in a rhythm neither science nor reason could explain. But the peace didn't last. 2 days later, a transmission came from the Galactic Bureau. They had detected unauthorized emotional bonding between host and assistant, grounds for immediate termination of the trial. They ordered Lyra to return to the station for reformatting. She stood by the window that evening, watching the rain streak down the glass. If they take me, she said, they will erase everything. My memories of you. My emotions. I will return as I was before. I clenched my fists. There has to be a way to stop it. There isn't. She smiled sadly. But I am glad I learned what it means to feel. Be shy. To be human. She stepped closer, her hand trembling as it brushed my cheek. Do humans kiss goodbye? I nodded, speechless. Her lips touched mine, soft, hesitant, but filled with everything words couldn't hold. For a moment the world disappeared. Just warmth, breath, and the faint hum of her pulse blending with mine. When she pulled away, her eyes shimmered with tears, liquid silver. Thank you for teaching me, she whispered. Don't forget me. Even if I must forget you. The next morning she was gone. Her room spotless, her uniform folded neatly on the bed. Only one thing remained. A single note taped to the mirror. Humans do get shy. And sometimes they love too deeply. I stared at the words for a long time, my chest tight. Outside, the sky was just beginning to brighten, streaks of light cutting through the rain. Somewhere out there, maybe she was still alive, her heart fighting to remember what the Bureau erased. And as the first sunbeam touched the glass, I whispered into the quiet apartment. So do aliens, Lyra. So do aliens. As months passed, the apartment felt emptier than ever. Her humming, her quiet laughter, even her meticulous way of folding towels, everything had vanished like a dream fading with dawn. But I couldn't let go. Every night after work, I stared at the stars, searching for the faint glimmer of her ship. I sent encrypted messages through abandoned communication relays, data fragments disguised as static, just in case she still remembered how to listen. One cold evening, while I was making coffee, my terminal blinked with an unknown signal. Static at first, then a voice. Familiar. Eli.